Welcome to the last Your Security Survival Guide for 2024. We may even just make this the end of season 1, if we're being honest. We'll just do one per year. It sounds like a good plan to me. We'll just do this a quick one today. We're testing out a new audio system in our audio recorder, so that would be good for us. And today we'll talk a little bit about PA systems and how they work into your security for your buildings or even your home. Really, if you wanted to do PA systems for your home, if you have a nicer home, that's more than okay. You can actually have it do a bunch of audio stuff. So you can have it be your full stereo system, plus also the security side of the PA system. So let's just cover that, I guess, real fast. What actually can you do with your PA system, public address system, that is supporting your security system? So the first thing really is that the PA system allows for us to do automated voice calls. So things that we want the audio to play if a certain triggers hit, because keep in mind that with security we do a lot of automation as well too, so we can tie these things all together. So for example, if you have a car yard, which is something that we do a lot of, and somebody walks into the front yard during the daytime and one of the motion sensors pick them up or one of the cameras pick them up, we can have the audio then play, "Welcome to such and such car yard, have a look around, we'll be with you here shortly," and we'll come in. And at that point we can have a bunch of other things too. It could actually trigger to an alert inside so that people can actually know something is going on there and that somebody needs help. You can have it send an email, a bunch of different things. And then let's say at nighttime, that same exact PA system, once the system's armed, somebody walks into the front yard, because again, a lot of these car yards are unfenced yards. People can just walk through them. But even if it's a rear yard, somebody walks through it, triggers a motion sensor, the PA system can then come on and go, "Hey, you're under video surveillance, the police have been notified, blah, blah, blah," whatever you want it to say, right? Now, we are finding that in this day and age that the automated ones are a little bit more setup friendly, and they're less human error specific. So we used to, back in the day, do more customized audio. So the control room would bring up the cameras, then they would say, "Okay, hey, you in the red hoodie, we need you to move along," that kind of stuff. But as people are starting to save money and consolidate lines for monitoring to larger control rooms, so there's not a bunch of as many small private control rooms with just a few hundred lines, we're now talking about control rooms that get thousands and thousands of lines and, thousands upon thousands of alarms every night. So the automated one allows there to be less downtime. So you're not waiting for a human to come in and say something. You're just going through and it's just triggering on its own, right? So somebody walks in, it says, "Hey, you're under video surveillance. This is a restricted area. You need to leave." That sends the alarm to the control room. The control room can then check the cameras, and then the control room can then call the police directly. So we've removed that entire section of time it takes for the control room to spend time looking at the cameras, try to figure out exactly what to say. They're humans, middle of the night, adrenaline. I've been there. I used to be a control room operator. And then decide. So instead, they go, "Okay, perfect. This has been triggered. That PA has gone off. Now we're going to just call the police and let them know to go." And then they'll call the client afterward and say, "Hey, we've had to send the police to your site," that kind of stuff. It's all a little bit more automated that way. So nowadays, you lose a little bit of the personalized message on the audio, but you're getting a much quicker, consistent result on the audio as it goes through. So all in all, that is definitely a better system for that. Now, the other things you can use the PA system for is obviously for audio. So we can talk about, like, you can have a car yard again or a home, and you can actually put in a some sort of smart audio player and then push the audio out. So you can have music playing, you can put like a radio station through or Spotify, something like that, to where you're actually getting more ROI from the PA system than you would be if it had just been a PA system with like horn speakers. If we do it this way, you also get better quality on the audio for the audio blast for when people walk and trigger the alarms as well too. Old school horn speakers for like PA systems were really kind of muffled. They weren't for quality, it was more for like noise, where right now we can get a bunch of quality and volume together. We're seeing a big push recently for IP-based speakers. So they're almost like smart speakers that connect to your network and actually go back that way. So that way we're not having to run twin cable or like figure eight cable if you're cheap to get the speakers to run, which then has its own innate flaws. You need an amp, you need to have it make sure it's run in a very clean area so you're not crossing lighting or power. There's a lot of things to go to. Where the new IP modules, basically you plug them in to your network, they get PoE from your switch so that you're not running power to them either. It's just the Cat6 to the speaker. And then a lot of them are smart. They can actually have the audio loaded directly into the speaker as well too, so that you can actually change what it says and customize what it says when something happens, which is very cool. So you have the PA system, which will do the audio blast on emergencies or break-ins or any sort of alarm. You have, or even visitors, if you want it to be like, hey, thank you for visiting our showroom, we'll be with you in a second, right? You could have it do that as well too. You have the music playing, so you have the ability to have smart speakers that can play audio throughout your property. And then the third one on top of that is you can have it with sequencing from the automation system. So whether it's you're using the alarm system like an Inception or a Protege or a Gallagher, or you're doing something like a Control 4 or a home automation system that's less security but more just automation, you can do things like schedules. So if you have staff working on site and they have a set time where they go through and take lunches, or they have smoko or any sort of breaks, you can do that. You can have a tone play for that. You can have it do tones for, or it could be tones or voiceover, but have tones for things like fire alarms or any sort of like emergency spills, things like that. And then also you can use it as a straight public address system, which is what it's for normally. So you could be like, hey, John, I need you to come to the reception area. We have a client here that needs to speak with you. And then you can do that through. So all this kind of runs through that PA system, which from our end in the security, we actually provide that as one of our services that integrates with the security. So yeah, the PA system is actually a great set of technology that you can use to add value to your existing alarm system, or if you're putting in a new alarm system, that may be the time to actually get it in there, especially if we're running Cat6 for things like cameras and alarm system stuff, which a lot of this Cat6 now, which is your Ethernet for your internet type stuff. Do it all at the same time. Save money on the cabling. If it's a upfront cost problem, talk to your security provider. We provide a lot of financing, so you can actually get something you want and then pay it OpEx over time instead of having to get it all up front right away. Yeah, but that's a good way to kind of include something that adds value to your system that you would use on a daily basis. A lot of the times, a lot of the security stuff, it kind of goes unnoticed. You arm it every night, you disarm it every day. And 360 days out of the year, it does nothing, right? So that you can see, even though it's doing stuff in the background. Where in an audio system, you're playing music through it every day. You're doing the audio blast every time somebody walks into the property. You're doing welcome messages every time somebody walks into the property. You're doing bells for breaks, that kind of stuff. You can be doing voiceovers that says, hey, the gym is closing in 10 minutes, that kind of stuff. Or your store's closing in 10 minutes. We need to move to the cash register. You can automate all of that, so it just happens automatically and you don't need to do it manually anymore. So if you do have any questions about any of that stuff, always reach out. I'm happy to talk to anybody about all this stuff because I'm a big tech nerd and a big security nerd and an automation nerd. So by all means, reach out. I'd love to have a chat with you, be able to kind of go have a one-on-one to figure out what works best for your solution, because designing system is kind of what I like to do. So perfect. Anyways, you guys all have a very lovely New Year's, and we'll start season 2 of your security survival guide when we get back. And keep in mind, you shouldn't ever need to feel unsafe. We're here to make sure that never happens. So if you are feeling unsafe or insecure, reach out. We'll be happy to help you. All right, guys, have a great New Year's. Bye.